Let me set this one up. What I'm going to show you is a time-lapse image of 30 years in less than 30 seconds of an area of the Amazon near Santa Cruz, Bolivia, to illustrate the impact of poverty on the loss of forests. But of course, the major cause is the dependence on carbon-based fuels. The United States uses a lot of foreign oil, still domestic oil. The current debate over offshore drilling can be put in perspective this way. I mean, this is not a controversial calculation. But the major source, in my view, the most serious source is our dependence on coal here in China and in many other places. Here are the existing coal plants in the United States. Here are the ones that have been proposed for construction in the last 6 years. But I mentioned we were beginning to see a shift. Many people are not aware of how significant this shift is beginning to be. Here are the ones that have been canceled in the last few years. In each of the last 2 years, a significantly more new generating capacity was added from wind power than from coal. The amount of coal-generated electricity actually went down last year, and new green alternatives are being proposed, and there are a lot of reasons for this. The coal industry is fighting back, and last year, the coal industry spent $500 million on advertising and lobbying to promote the image of what they call clean coal. And this was a full-page ad in the Washington Post placed by Peabody Coal. And I looked at that image and I thought, there's something familiar about that. And then I remembered. Now, when they spend $500 million putting their version of this story in the minds of the American people, it increases the importance of you being willing to speak out. And as civic scientists, find ways to communicate the truth about what this huge increase in global warming pollution is doing.
In all branches of medicine, in all parts of the country, were asked that question.
What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?
The brand named most was Camel. Yes, surveys show more doctors smoke Camels than...
Just before Christmas in my home state, 1 billion gallons of coal sludge was released. And it was an ugly sight. Wait a minute. So on Christmas Day, I was surprised to see this advertisement from the coal industry singing lumps of coal.
Frosty the coal man is a jolly happy soul. He's abundant here in America and he helps our economy roll. Frosty the coal man's getting cleaner every day. He's affordable and adorable and his workers keep their pay.
Affordable and adorable.
Let me be clear about it. Al Gore, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, they don't know what they're talking about.
It's environmental rate. That's all you can call it.
Mountaintop mining.
At Coal Energy, we view climate change as a very serious threat to our business. That's why we've made it our primary goal to spend a large sum of money on an advertising effort to help bring out and complicate the truth about coal. The fact is, coal isn't dirty. We think it's clean. Smells good, too. So don't worry about climate change. Leave that up to us.
The Alliance for Climate Protection is a bipartisan group committed to trying to enter the public debate in one of the arenas where it counts, and that is speaking directly to the public. And here's an example. Oh, I'm sorry.
On Monday,
I'm sorry, that's the cold slug
America
again.
is in crisis. The economy, national security, the climate crisis. The thread that links them all? Our addiction to carbon-based fuels like dirty coal and foreign oil. But now there's a bold new solution to get us out of this mess. Repower America with 100% clean electricity within 10 years. A plan to put America back to work, make us more secure, and help stop global warming. Finally, a solution that's big enough to solve our problems. Repower America. Find out more.
One more example of the effort to draw the connection, the common thread, between the solutions to the climate crisis and the solutions to the economic crisis.
It's about repowering America. One of the fastest ways to cut our dependence on old, dirty fuels that are killing our planet.
Future's over here. Wind, sun, a new energy grid. New investments to create high-paying jobs.
Repower America. It's time to get real.
Now, in closing these images, I want to come back to Lincoln because he demonstrated that we as a nation do have the capacity to rise above our limitations and chart a new course. We have done this in the past with not only abolition, but the passage of women's suffrage. We have seen the ability of the United States to win 2 wars simultaneously and then to win the peace afterwards. We have brought about the civil rights revolution under the leadership of Dr. King, and just last month we saw the electrifying redemption of the revolutionary promise of America that all people are created equal. We saw the U.S. lead the free world in bringing down the system of communism, and we've seen vivid demonstrations of our ability to do great things technologically. The day that this picture was taken, in Houston, Texas, at Mission Control, there was, of course, a loud cheer. And looking back to the challenge from President John F. Kennedy, when he announced a national goal of landing a person on the moon and bringing that person back safely within 10 years, there were many people who doubted that we could do it. But 8 years and 2 months later, this picture was taken. And those cheering in the control room, the average age of those systems engineers was 26, which means their average age when President Kennedy issued that challenge was 18. Many of you are speaking on a regular basis to young people about science. And you are doing so at a time when our home is in danger. We do have everything we need to save it, with the possible exception of political will. But the United States of America has just demonstrated that political will is in fact a renewable resource. Now, if you'd bring the lights back up for a minute, I'd like to conclude with a few other brief comments.